Peace and welcome to 25 Tips for Twitter Growth with Business Bay. That's me. So, a lot of you are probably wondering what made me get this course together and just about how long I've been working on it, right? So, everyone's been screaming at me for the past, 2 years now about actually doing courses and helping people do what I've learned to do, which is make money through social media with my legit business. So this is for my people who are in the process of, let's just say these are some thoughts that you're having. I'm doing everything right, but I'm not seeing the results. What do other people know that I don't know? I'm seeing people grow really fast. Where did I go wrong? Or I'm new to Twitter and what the heck? And if you're a little bit older than 25, then you're wondering how in the world do I get back on Twitter, right? So I'm going to help you guys do just that. But before we begin, my name is Sierra Herring and I go by Business Bay. You can find me as Business Bay on all social media platforms. So before I get into myself, I want to talk about this picture. This picture here is of me after my first webinar from my home office. So I no longer live there. I live in a bigger townhouse compared to an apartment. And I also started a business. So in this picture, I had not started Ego the agency yet, right? And you can see behind me that there's a whiteboard. I had a giant whiteboard and I was hosting webinars for free where I was giving people all of this data and pretty much tips that I found that worked for my business. So you can only imagine why people were yelling at me and saying, hey, we need a course, something we can go back and watch. And I was like, okay, I'll listen. And so I started putting this together. I am actually a biology researcher turned social media strategist, right? It sounds crazy, but let me explain. So I've always wanted to be a neurological researcher, and I do have my bachelor's. So I finished, and I was thinking to myself, and I was like, well, I kind of need money now. If you're anything like me, I have a family that I know at some point I may have to take care of, right? Or you have started your own family, but you want to spend time with them, but also give them the things that they need. And I started thinking, how could I use my degree to the best of my ability without looking for employment? Because we all know finding employment after college is not what we thought it would be. But I started to wonder, I was like, well, I really love data. I really love research and I like psychology. So I took the idea of finding consumer behavior and putting it together with social media. I wasn't willing to become a traditional influencer, right? We love them, but when we don't picture ourselves that way, right? And so I started to collect data, run experiments, and share some of that information. So as we go through this course today, you guys will hear me reference science a lot. I'm sorry, kind of a dork, but it will be fine. So what exactly are we going to go over today? We're going to talk about impressions, followers, engagement, profile visits, building influence, sales, scheduling, optimizing Twitter, and apps. So this is your all-around place to start and re-begin or rebirth, if you will. So if you have any questions at all, I want to let you know you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at BusinessBayC. DM me your questions. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right to it. So you probably just got done listening to the intro, and now that you know who I am, I'm going to start to give you some tips. So I broke this video up into 9 different pieces for you guys. So you can always go back and rewatch and be able to find exactly where you stopped or want to rewatch again, right? So the first one we have is impressions. I cannot stress enough how important impressions really are. So imagining your marketing funnel awareness, that's what impressions are on social media. So if you don't have a lot of impressions, more than likely you won't have as many sales. If you have a lot of impressions, I can guarantee you will get more sales, right? So let's start with the first thing. Sounds super simple, but a lot of people miss this one. Retweet your own tweets. Maybe someone didn't see it. Maybe at that time, that wasn't the time that your audience was most active. This is a great sign on how to figure out when your audience is actually active. So if I tweet something at 3 p.m., doesn't get much love, and then I retweet it at 5 p.m. and it goes viral, then I know for a fact that, hey, I should start posting at 5 more often. But it also didn't add to tweets that I wrote, right? I didn't have to redo the work. So please, 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 I have seen people jump from like literally 250% just from retweeting their own tweet. Tether tweeting. So sounds way harder than what it is. Say you're new to Twitter or you're getting back on Twitter. Find someone else who is the same. Ask a friend. Once you get on Twitter, if you don't have anybody, right? Because we always have those people that are like, I live on the world alone. I have no one, right? Or you just want to do it alone. Completely understandable. You can start to tether tweet with someone else, and it is human nature that they will start to tether tweet back with you. So what that actually means is frequently commenting on this person's tweets, retweeting most of their tweets as long as you agree. So the person that you tether tweet with should be somebody that you're going to agree with probably 90% of the time. So Obama and Donald Trump, they're not going to tether tweet each other because it just simply doesn't make sense. And this isn't about being fake, right? And so when you tether tweet with the correct person, it looks like you guys build a relationship. And ultimately, as you do that, you'll start to share each other's audience. So this will also increase your impressions and should increase your followers as long as your content is solid. Moving on. Mention and tag others. Deep breath. I cannot tell you guys how many times I've had clients tell me, no one is sharing my stuff. No one's interacting with me. It's so indirect. And are you doing that with other people? Simple rule, the golden rule, right? It's crazy how things circle back in life. But mention and tag others. So if I see a book, and I know that someone likes reading, or I've seen them tweet about reading, I'll tag them in it and say, have you seen this one yet? Very, very simple. If you have a makeup business and you see someone who always posts makeup looks, you don't always have to get a sale out of them. Sometimes it's just awesome to comment at them, comment on their tweet and say, hey, I really like this look. Whose eyeshadow is this? So not only are you engaging with the potential client now, but you're also going to get a chance to follow a mutual and see what connected that person to buy from that person. So impressions is a lot about being able to collect data and seeing who do you want in your target audience going lower into the funnel, and who are you just happy to see and wave at this one time, right? Moving on to the last one. Post at consistent times. That is the only way you can collect data. I know that Instagram makes it pretty easy for you, but ultimately, it really doesn't. It just tells you when your audience is most active on their own account, but that doesn't mean that when they're on at 6 o'clock, they could be looking at your post from 5 o'clock. So it might be wiser to post at 5 o'clock. So post at consistent times for a while and just look at the engagement. And then go back to our first thing, retweet your own tweets, and take a good deep look at the differences between those times. But if you have nothing to compare it to, aka posting at consistent times, then you'll never know the difference. I also want to bring up, and you'll hear me say a lot throughout this, do not try to figure out the algorithm. Become the algorithm. People will, if they like your content and they know that you post at 12 o'clock every day, on their lunch break, they're going to go look you up. I have people that I search in and I'm like, oh, she drops every Friday at 5 o'clock. I want to see her live. She drops every Monday at 9 a.m. I have to go back and watch her live. So the more consistent you are, the more you'll be able to beat out the algorithm rather than trying to figure it out all the time. All right, now that we've got impressions out the way, let's move to everybody's favorite, right? Everybody wants to be 1.1 million followers. And there are people with that many followers and they're not utilizing their audience. So first things first, I want you guys to understand that having influence and building influence is a lot more important than how many followers you have. But let's deep dive into it because you do need followers and you need quality ones. So follow your retweeters, right? So you want an audience that not only connects with you, but also is willing to refer you to their timeline. It seems simple and quick just because we're pressing a button, but when somebody retweets you, they're saying, hey, I like this information, I like this picture, and I want to share it with more people, right? So how do you get them to do that? One, please be yourself. People can tell if you're not being yourself, whether you believe it or not. That is pretty much the reason I started Ego the Agency. My slogan is business is personality. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I hate to pretend being somebody else on social media. So you want to follow the people that retweet you because apparently they not only prove that they like your content, but they're also saying, I support this enough to retweet it. So more than likely, when you post more similar content, they're going to do the same thing. Give yourself a fighting chance and actually follow meaningful people. Follow your supporters. If you don't have anyone who supports you outside of social media or anyone who supports your business, support and follow the people who don't know you who are supporting you, right? Sounds super simple, but I'm telling you, it is what got me to 10K and what really made me release this video in the first place. Tell people to. Again, another simple one, but literally call to action. So if you don't already know, CTA is call to action. And that's pretty much when you're telling your followers or people who see your post what to do. People don't know what to do. They're going to see your post and be like, oh, that's great. And da-da-da-da. But they have no idea what you want them to do with this information. So it's always great that if you are being intentional, you tell them what you want them to do. So if you make a tweet and say, hey, my goal is 500 followers by the end of this week, I'm at 484. If you see this tweet, go ahead and give me a follow. So your followers, they obviously support you and they're going to refer you like they always do. And when someone reads that tweet, they're going to follow you. Trust me, it works. That is, last time I checked, I have gained 2,300 followers alone just from telling people to, or things like follow trains, or simply going under my own tweet that has gotten over 100 retweets and saying, if you see this, go ahead and give me a follow. Tell them what they're going to be looking at. I'll go under my own tweet that's doing pretty well and getting a lot of impressions, and I'll say, follow me if you want to hear more about space science. if that's your thing, right? So find your audience. When you want anything else, you Google it or put it into your favorite search engine. Do the exact same thing here. Okay? Okay. I'm going to be showing you this, you guys, this step as soon as we're done with this slide. And then that way you'll be able to see just how freaking easy it is to go ahead and grow your audience. So niche, niche, niche. Why are we here? What do I get from you? What can I expect? So that means tweeting things that are aligned with your brand. I am also an herbalist. So I will tweet and say, hey, dandelion root tastes really good. People who like tea, people who never even thought about using dandelion root, when they see that, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, she has herbs. But I consistently remind my audience that, hey, this page specifically is for me to help small businesses create personalities that turn followers into clients, right? So with that idea, when that gets retweeted and where people come across it, they're gonna say, oh, I have a small business. I would like to turn my followers into clients. And so it makes sense. That is also inside of my bio. So if anybody else is doing find your audience or looking for a social media strategist, they will be able to find me because not only is that my header, but it is also within my bio. So what we're going to do now, I'm actually going to take you guys to my Twitter. I would like you to know I have no control over social media. Never know what you're going to see here, right? But I'm going to take you guys to my Twitter and show you just how I use the search engine and search bar to find my actual audience. All right, she is loading. All right. And so as you can see, I completely manifested hitting 10K, but we're only 3 away and I'm going to drop this and everyone's going to be like, what? Thought you been made it? Or I thought you weren't going to make it till 10K? No, we are ready now. So let me go ahead. Oh, perfect. I did my homework yesterday. I wanted to find some mutuals. And so I typed in social media strategist. So what I'm going to do to find my audience, I'm going to type in woman owned. I do a lot of work with women-owned businesses, and so it's just smart for me to type in something like that and find other women-owned businesses. So let's see. We have Savor Spice Co., Black woman-owned spice company, low salt, vegan, perfect for me. Gonna give her a follow. All natural work. Oh, Black owned right here. This is also showing you just how important SEO is. If you're putting this stuff in your name, you'll be the first to pop up. So congratulations to these 3 here. Woman owned founder. Okay. Give them a follow. And then I am happy to say this is actually one of my followers. So Black woman owned candle. I have 10K followers, but I know a lot of who they are. Not personally, but once I see your Abby and you follow me, I pretty much remember. So woman-owned cannabis dispensary. Even though it's not necessarily his, he's attached to it, and it's in Ohio. And fun fact, I am from Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, to be exact. So Destiny, Black-owned and woman-operated beauty shop that has 100% vegan and cruelty-free products for you and your lips and face and body. I already follow her. So as you can see, I'm very consistent about going in here and following those people who are potentially my audience, right? So I say do about 10 a day. These will not be the same every single day, just as a heads up. And as you can see, this was the first person that we saw, and she consistently uses it, and it has pretty decent engagement. So if you have trouble finding keywords for yourself, think about what you would enter on Google to make your business pop up. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude this one, and I'll see you guys on the next slide. Hey guys, hopefully I have made it easy for everyone to keep up and you've started to implement some things. So remember, if you have any questions, go ahead and just tweet it at me. Who knows who else has the same question, and I'll answer it right there for you. Again, that is Business Bay C. It'll be listed at the end and it's listed at the beginning for you. So let's talk about everyone's worst nightmare. Tweeting something or posting something and having very low engagement on it, right? So it can kind of kill our self-esteem sometimes, but rest assured, I'm going to give you guys just a couple tips that help me consistently get good engagement organically. So let's start off with our first one. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. A lot of people tweet sentences and then they're confused as to why nobody commented. I don't know. It feels rhetorical. So if someone makes a statement, you typically don't say anything back. But if someone asks a question, you do. So one of the ways that you can use asking questions is by asking questions you actually want to know the answer to from your audience. So say I have a bonnet collection. It would be wise for me to ask, what color is your bonnet? That is data that you can collect and say, hey, most people have black bonnets. Not a lot of people have brown bonnets. So in my next collection, I'm going to feature all black bonnets, but maybe they'll all have some different type of embellishment on them, right? So ask questions that you really want to know the answer to. And remember, people love talking about themselves. If you ask your clients about themselves, not only can you collect data, but consumer behavior says they're more likely to respond. This is my favorite. I will scream this from the rooftop, the mountaintop, down, back from heaven. I don't care. Account signatures. So earlier when I talked about don't try to figure out the algorithm, become the algorithm. This is how I got out of the algorithm anxiety warp hole, if you will, right? So I typically look at my brand values and I will create an account signature based off of each one of those. So if you go to my Twitter every day, I tweet something very positive. I'll tweet peace to everyone who's reading today. I'll tweet peace to everybody who's wearing pink. Something that simple can make certain people become activated, become engaged. And so what that does is they retweet those a lot. If they fall into that category, they'll retweet it because they're telling people, I'm a part of this group. I feel seen. I feel heard. One of my other account signatures is question of the day, right? So not only do I have businesses, but clearly I've branded myself. And so sometimes I ask simple questions. If you could be any animal, what would you be? Just because people are expecting question of the day, they engage. It's silly. It's crazy that 30-year-olds, 25-year-olds, even 18-year-olds are thinking about what animal do I want to be when we all know we're not going to become animals, right? But asking that question of the day not only prompts my engagement, but also lets my followers know what's to come. People don't really like to be shocked about information, and they want to know where to go for it. When I stopped doing question of the day because I thought, oh, the engagement isn't necessarily where I want it to be, I received 10 DMs that first week saying, where's question of the day? I miss it. I like seeing how other people think. Two things about like people. They like to talk about themselves and they're also very nosy. They want to know everyone else's businesses. businesses, but they want to know everyone else's business too, right? So that is the perfect mix for me. Now, say you sell something like journals, making a video every day or at least once a week with a journal prompt saying this week or this Sunday, let's write about what went really, really well this week and how can we make it happen next week. So asking questions that are still within your industry and then creating that account signature that says, I am the home of question of the day. I am the home of your favorite business threads. I am the home of your favorite herbalist secrets. Take it that personal. Trending topics. So at the end of this slide, we're going to actually go to Twitter and I am going to look at a trending topic and I am going to put it into my industry and kind of use that. So naturally, I don't do this as often as I would recommend starting out. So I do this about 2 to 3 times a week. And what it does is if that topic is trending, your tweet will pop up inside of other people's timeline who Twitter says would be interested in that topic. So let's say the word plants is trending and I type something or I tweet something that says, I have 50 plants. I'm looking to grow 50 more by the end of 2021. Twitter sees your data and what they do, they say, ooh, she would like plants. So let's implant certain tweets into her TL to see how she responds because they want to collect data as well. So what that does is it gives you free time on someone else's TL and it allows you to remain relevant. It's super cool when someone has information that you don't have, but once you get into it, and you start to realize like, hey, they're not really growing. They're regurgitating the same information. It gets annoying. So at the end of this slide, we're going to make a trending topic tweet within my industry. Comment. This one's very simple. If you have less than 10K followers, you need to be commenting on at least 10 to 15 other tweets a day, if possible. Now, if you are an ER doctor and clearly you only have 8 hours to sleep, I'm not expecting you to do that. But what I will tell you is by giving engagement, you will receive engagement back because you will become familiar with their face and what they tweet and vice versa. So in our first slide, we went over tethered tweeting. Commenting is a very good way to start that relationship. I have friends from Twitter who I have actually gotten like literally met up with, or I have their phone number and we FaceTime and we built businesses together. And it simply started because I started commenting on their tweets. I started talking to them. I started giving them consistent engagement to where, yeah, they might have 30,000 followers, but this one follower is very consistent and always engaging. So we must have something in common. Make sure you're being genuine about it because it's also obvious when you're not. So comment on something that you actually like. Fair enough? Okay, so we're going to move on to our next slide. But before you click onto the next video, I want you to go and implement one of these 4 things and come back. Hey guys, hopefully you listened to your homework and took your break and started to implement one of the engagement tactics that I gave you guys. If not, we're going to roll on to profile visits anyway. So let it be known that profile visits, I mean, the most underrated data analytic there is because people don't see that it's directly linked to sales. They don't see that there is a conversion rate that you can track there. And so a lot of people just like, oh, yeah, that's great. But how many people bought? How many people followed me? Or how many comments did I have, right? So To get more profile visits, first of all, let's talk about why they're important. Profile visits are a test of your bio, your pin tweet, and your content message. Why and how? So, if someone goes to your bio, goes to your profile, what's the first thing that they see? They'll see your name, they'll see your header, right? As you can see in this picture, my header is followers, the clients, businesses and personal is personality, and then I have my logo there. So that tells people like, hey, this girl is probably going to allow me to be myself. But the big thing is followers to clients, right? You're going to see my name, business-based, social media strategist. So when people search social media strategist, I pop up. If they search social media, I pop up. If they search strategy, I pop up. If they search business, I pop up. So making sure that your name here is also very intriguing and has some SEO purpose and isn't just some cute little name, right? So then in my bio, I have my mission statement. I provide small businesses with a social media persona that converts followers to clients. Book your consultation below. So not only do you know who I am and what I do, but you know who I serve and what is the outcome just by clicking on my profile. So I'll also show, so the call to action, book your consultation below. Clearly, I'm talking about the link here. Common misconception that people don't know where to order. If you're on a page or if you see a tweet and they post something like a pure gold phone case and you want to buy that, you're not going to go, oh my God, where's the link? You're going to go to their profile first and see if the link is there. So that's why it's also a test of your content. Because if you have good content, people should be willing to buy. If I drop something, so initially my pin tweet here, day 21 of being in all green. This means my strategy has been giving me consistent results despite my 1,500% increase last month. People read that and were like, 1,500%? What? And what do you think they did? They went to my profile to see who is this girl to be increasing by 1,500%. And it was I, Business Babe, the social media strategist who helps turn small businesses into social media personas that converts followers to clients. They didn't have to guess anymore when they came to my profile. So I want that for you. It is a must for when people see your great content that you put out, for them to be able to go to your profile and get any of their questions answered. People should only be clicking on your link when they are prepared to buy. Okay? People should only be clicking on your link when they are prepared to buy. Why? Because your website is tracking your data and you don't want a horrible conversion rate. Flat out. You just don't. So that's one way to improve that. And also one way to make sure, that's one way to just test, is my content up to par? So saying things like, see my pin tweet for more. So I would tweet something and say, somewhere around the lines of, I cannot believe that I've grown by 1,500% this month. Click my pin tweet to see how you can do the same. Or click my pin tweet to get the details. So people will go to my profile just to view my pin tweet. Super simple, right? Post pictures and videos. So on here, you can see where media is. I'll be honest with you. If you post a picture or a video, people are going to look at it and they're going to want to see more if they like it. And so what are they going to do? They're going to go to your profile, they're going to click your media, and they're going to run through it. It's childish, but if you post a meme and somebody's like, oh, there was a really good meme on here, they will go to your profile to find it. People have tweeted and told me that I wanted that meme so bad that I went to your media and found it. A healthy bio. Your bio should include your mission statement, some form of your slogan, a customer coin. A customer coin is just something that niches you down, but also offers something to a pain point of a client. So all of that is kind of included in my mission statement, and my mission statement is a little longer, so I choose to use that with a CTA involved. So a healthy pin tweet. Your pin tweet should change often. I don't care if you went viral in 2017. Let it go. Let it go. You cannot get anything new by harvesting and harboring these old tweets. Your content should be consistent enough in quality and frequency for you to have a new pinned tweet. The idea is not to get one tweet to 100,000 retweets, but to get 100 tweets to 1,000 retweets. So hopefully that adds up right. But yes, I am very passionate about that. And I want you guys to know that is a very good key to understand if the content that you're putting out is being received. So what I want you to do after this video is go ahead and tweet something very, very simple. Tweet a fact. I want you to look in your industry and I want you to find a fact that you don't think a lot of people know. I want you to tweet that fact and I want you to say, see my pinned tweet for more at the end of it. And when they come, they should be able to see a pinned tweet of possibly a thread of facts or you going in and explaining why this is a fact, or share a fun quote or a fun number, something that gets people wanting more. Again, if you have issues or questions with any of this, feel free to just go ahead and tweet at me. Tweet at BusinessBayC. It'll be at the end of this. It's also at the beginning. And you'll be able, it's actually on this page, but you'll be able to just go ahead and ask me a question and I'll answer it right there for you. I don't care if you watch this in 2030. I will probably be there for you. Or hopefully my team will answer your question by then while me and my family are on vacation. But either or, do not sit in disbelief. Don't sit in misunderstanding. Go ahead and reach out and ask your questions. I'll see you guys on the next slide. Okay, so let's imagine you haven't listened to anything I said thus far. Why you would do that, I don't know. But seriously, if you implement anything, make it this page right here. I am going to tell you right now, building influence is what builds sales, what builds businesses, what builds profiles, what continues to build your brand. These are the tips that you need, no matter how many followers that you have. When I had 4K followers, I was making about double what I was making with 3,000 followers. And it wasn't because, I gained 1,000 followers. It was because I started to appreciate the followers I had instead of being on this duck race all the way to 10K, right? I was kind of looking past where I was already at instead of making money with the people who were already there. Sounds very simple, right? So create an algorithm. I've been talking about this entire time. You cannot depend on the algorithm. You cannot depend on the algorithm. It changes in real time every single day. So what you need to do is make time promises and post consistent account signatures. And people will remember you for that. So imagine your favorite comedian, right? Let's just put Instagram in your mind for a second. Imagine you find one of your favorite comedians from a movie's Instagram profile. You start seeing that they have comedy videos on there. You're going to be scrolling down the whole thing. And then if you see in the captions, like, you already know what's going on. It's Thursday. It's Comedy Thursday. We're laughing all night. You know, I always post a video at 7 o'clock on Thursday. You're going to be tuned in every Thursday at 7, whether Instagram tells you or shows it to you on your page or not. Am I right, or is I'm right? Exactly. So create your own algorithm. Again, that means making time promises and consistently posting your account signatures. Clear CTAs. What are you saying to me? What are you saying to us? What are you saying to your target audience? What do you want me to do? A lot of people will be like, oh, that was a dope tweet. Okay. They probably will keep scrolling, or they'll just like it. They might not even retweet it. So the idea I want you to understand is that people mean well, but they also need a leader. So they need you to send them somewhere. So CTAs, again, are calls to action, call to action, call to action. So after I tweet something that says, right now, for instance, I just currently hit 10K. I can go ahead and say, oh my goodness, I just hit 10K. I've been working really hard for this. For anybody who wants to keep up with my journey, text 833-636-6240, the word ego, so I can continue to give you motivational quotes and sales and business tips through text. That is very clear. I want you to join my text message marketing. Do it now. But in a very nice way, and it's understandable and it makes sense. So post evidence of growth. This is probably one of the things that helped me grow as quick as I did, because I was just a small account and I was able to show people that, hey, I grew 1,500%. I'm not just tweeting this. I'm not just saying this. I will send you a video record of me doing it, a screen record of me doing it. Here are my side-by-side pictures with dates. It is very simple to show people, hey, I only hit 3 orders in December, but in January, I hit 15 orders. People respect the growth, and it's very realistic. No one really trusts the person that wakes up rich the next day and starts pretending they've been rich for a long time. It's awkward. Only 1% of people are like filthy rich. So a lot of people do not, they don't find it relatable. So don't have a hard time showing what's going on to the world. Show them that you're growing. Show them that other people like your stuff. Consumer behavior says when someone sees someone buy the item they're interested in, they're almost 57% more likely to purchase it now. Please understand that. Proper intro and re-intro. So every once in a while, probably once a week out of the month, my intro will be me reintroducing myself, my business, and ultimately using a call to action that gets people to sign up for a consultation. Why? Because imagine when you first start your account and you never reintroduce yourself and now you have 10K. No one really knows who you are. No one really knows what to expect. Maybe somebody saw a tweet about bananas one day that you made randomly, and they don't even know that you have social media services available. So please, please, please introduce yourself. Don't be afraid to reintroduce yourself all the time. If you don't want to introduce yourself, do it with your brand. Let people know again, hey, this is our mission statement. This is how many sales we've had now. It is okay to do so, and it's necessary to make sure that you're keeping up with influence from the beginning to the end. Another trick that I use is being very detailed with my re-intros. So on my intro, I might say, hi, I'm Sierra. I am a biology researcher turned social media strategist. The next time on my re-intro, I might say, hi, I'm Sierra Herring, also go by Business Bay. I am a biology researcher turned social media strategist that focuses on helping small businesses. So you see how adding small business, just that word. So it's not so redundant to the people who have already been there. It allows them to learn something new about you, but also keeps the people just coming in caught up. Niche your industry. Please do. So I really like to turn followers into clients. There are a lot of social media strategists who simply work on impressions, who simply work on, okay, you want this one video to be seen? I'm going to make sure it gets seen to everybody. So I make it clear that I focus on the end of conversions. Okay? So again, I'll use the same example. If you are selling bonnets, stop just selling bonnets. Start selling bejeweled bonnets. Start selling handmade bonnets. Start selling cartoon pattern bonnets. So adding an adjective will really, 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 really help you niche your industry, and your conversion rate will skyrocket, because now you're attracting the people who actually need you specifically because they can't get it anywhere else or they haven't seen it yet. Encourage reviews. So I always, usually at the end of my calls, or I have some kind of direct contact with a client, I will get the review from them verbally if possible. And then it's okay to ask for reviews in private. It's okay to DM someone and say, hey, I saw you comment and say that you bought this a week ago. Can you let me know how it's going? Because what if it's not what you thought it would be, right? And they say, hey, it was only $11, but it broke by now. You have a chance to fix it before it's out in public. And then if it goes well, you can always screenshot it, crop it, and make it a post with their consent. But encourage reviews, because again, consumer behavior says if someone has something in their hand and they see someone else buy it, they are more likely to purchase it as well. So interactive content. Please, please, please. Again, asking questions, of course, but also providing things that help other people grow that they can take with them. So one of the interactions that I do is I will go on live. Not a lot of people go live on Twitter, I'll be honest with you, but it's something that I do just to keep trying new ways to engage with my audience. But another thing that I do to help build influence is by testing my influence. So now you guys are responding really well to regular tweets. So let me start adding media. How do you react to pictures? Do you like it more? You're more willing to retweet or less willing? When I put out voice recordings, do you guys like that? Do you not like it? So once you get your influence down in one area, try another method. If they don't like it, it's okay. Go back to your original and try something else. So behind the scenes, I am always showing people how I got where I am. I'm always posting pictures like the one you saw at the beginning that say, hey, this was me then. Okay. Again, about the whole storytelling, proper reintros, post evidence of growth. People love that. And part of that is being able to see behind the scenes. So a lot of people don't post their before picture on their weight loss journey unless it's next to an after picture. So if you don't have your before picture, how do we know that the after is really that great? I want you to go ahead and take about 5 minutes before you go to the next video and think about ways that you can help build your influence. And then I'll see you guys on the next one. Okay. So I know this is the part that probably puts you over the edge. Like, I have to buy this. She's talking about sales on Twitter. You see it. It's right there in red. You must use them all to keep the results consistent. Them all. Results consistent. Them all. Results consistent. You must use them all to keep the results consistent. I will go ahead and say I have made 5 figures off of 2 businesses from Twitter solely this year. One of them is product-based, one of them is service-based, and I've been able to achieve 5 figures with both of them. It is very possible. This time last year, I had, I think, somewhere in between 500 to 700 followers, and I just hit 10K today. It is possible. You can do this. You can make that amount with 2,000 followers, with 3,000 followers, even less than that if your influence is really good. So let's talk about soft sell posts. So your soft sell posts or tweets are going to be things that describe what you are selling, your product or your service. So instead of posting a picture and saying something like, buy here now, support me today, love me today, please, 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 buy. Share with us why without telling us to buy. So that looks like me saying, this time last year, I had between let's just make it affirmative. So this time last year, I had 600 followers, and I had just started looking at starting a social media strategy agency. I had no idea what I was doing, but I spent an entire year working on it, and here are my results. That's a soft sell post that says, wow, she really put a whole year of effort into this. What's a social media strategy agency? So I do one-on-ones for an hour. And so I'll say something like, I'm so happy that I've been able to serve 200 people through my one-on-one sessions and help make over $1 million through that experience. That's a soft sell post that says, okay, she's helped 200 people. Her one-on-ones clearly work because they've collectively made over $1 million. So something that doesn't say buy today. So say you sell book bags. Your soft sell post is going to say, during our book bag designing, it was very important for me to make straps that have cool gel in them because over time, your shoulders can become like engraved with book bag straps. So that tells people like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know my book bag was doing that to me. And now you've given them a way to fix it. So your soft sell posts are going to get a lot of comments that say, where do I buy? Where's the link? Or they're going to ask more specific questions like, okay, I like that part of it, but do they come in black? So the engagement from that will be leading to sales, but it's not asking for them outright. Hard sell posts. This is what a lot of people do all the time. I have a sale today, 99.9% off. Please buy. But a hard sell post actually starts with a soft sell post. So you're going to start with, I put these cool gel book bag straps on here because they can potentially mess up your shoulders and your back alignment. Click here today to choose your custom color cool gel backpack, right? So not only does that tell me why I should buy and what is different about it, but it also says, actually, I know you like this, go ahead and buy it now. So the CTA is always leading to a place to purchase the product. Follow mutuals. This sounds insane, but there's enough money for everyone. But this is also why you niche down. So when you follow mutuals, if you don't know what a mutual is, it's someone who is in your industry. So say, for instance, there's a social media strategist that works with, let's say, serial entrepreneurs only, right? They might have somebody who's starting their first business. And so they might say, hey, I don't work with people who are just starting, but Business Bay does. So you need to get to know people in your industry so you can make referrals to them. And just like human nature, most of the time, if you give someone something, they will be looking of a way to give something back to you. And it just comes down to it. You're going to get people who inquire who are not part of your target audience, But you have to be sharp enough in your industry to say, I'm not the one, but here is the one. Believe it or not, your mutuals will get you sales. There is somebody out there right now who makes, let's say for instance, they only make Velcro shoes. And somebody doesn't know that. And so they're like, oh yeah, where are your ones with laces? They're like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't sell those, but Nike does a really good job with them. So they'll refer them. And somebody will come, and if Nike didn't have Velcro, they might say, oh yeah, we only sell laces here, but they have Velcro ones over at Reebok. Go check them out. So number 4, search for your customers. I just showed you how I do that to find my mutuals, but let's go on a hunt and find some customers at the end of this. So using DMs correctly, this is huge. I use a lot of soft sell tweets that I lead into DMing them privately. So I might tweet something that says, drop an emoji below if you feel like you deserve more, or you deserve more impressions. So people will start dropping their emojis because they're like, I want more impressions. I feel like I haven't been hitting my goals. I don't understand why. Whatever their reason is, they're going to drop an emoji. When they drop that emoji, I'm going to send them a message that says, hey, I noticed that you dropped an emoji under my impressions tweet. I wanted you to know that I am hosting a Grow Your Impressions webinar. Click below to register. Hope to see you soon. It's that simple. DMs really do work. And if you DM someone and say they're like, oh, I'm really interested in this, but I really just don't have the funds, you have that information too, versus putting a tweet out, some people reading it and not just engaging with it because they can't afford it. So let's go ahead and search for us some customers before we end this slide. Hopefully you guys are sticking with me. And I am a manifesting young lady because just earlier we were not at 10K, but let's see. Let it refresh. Let's refresh. We have officially hit 10K. So congratulations to us. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me, even though you didn't choose to. And so she is refreshing right now. And we are going to go into searching for our target audience. That 10K looks so nice. Again, and so 10K followers, and I follow 10.2K. So please understand, there are going to be people who start accounts and delete them. There are going to be people who follow you just so you can follow them. Then they're going to unfollow you. Please do not get so caught up with how many people you're following versus followers that you have. It is not a big deal. This does not take away from the fact that I have 10K people who trust me and follow me. So when we went to the search bar earlier, you were able to see that just yesterday I found social media strategists. So I'm going to do the same thing today. So yesterday I was looking for mutuals not only in industry, but also within my demographic, so Black women. As you can see, that is why I followed those women already, and I've actually started engaging with some of them. I've talked to Lynn already. We've already engaged. But just going down, so as you can see here, she's a Pinterest strategist. So she niched down into that. Social media content strategist. So these are just ways that you can niche down, and giving my girls some free marketing. I don't know you yet, but I hope that you see this and that you're encouraged. So online marketing, social media strategist, SEO. So she made it very clear. Again, I am looking for mutuals within my industry as well as my demographic. But if I come across people who are outside of that, who I think will still benefit me well, I'll go ahead and give them a follow. So let's do about 2 more. I try to do at least 5 to 10 of these a day. And of course, I don't always type in the same thing. I don't actually. So, let's see. I'll usually look on here. Okay, she has 44.7K followers, community builder, speaker, PR, and social media strategist. So I'll keep this, but this is how I remember my followers as well, even though I've hit 10K. Like I said, if somebody tweets or comments on something, I typically know who they are, or I've seen their Abby enough to know they've been around for a while or how long they've been around. So that is enough following for now. But you can kind of see how I was looking for mutuals, but let's look at customers. So what can I put in? I'll put in small business. Now that's super, super general, but I will always start general if you can. So let's go to top. So on this one, we don't want to look for people. We kind of want to look for tweets. Okay, so I believe that I follow him already. Let's see. Yeah, so I follow him already. Let's look at a couple other ones. Good morning. Happy Friday. I pray for nothing but blessings for everyone in abundance. That's good energy. Let's see if I follow these people. Okay, I don't. They only have 264 followers, but I love following people who are at the beginning because not only do I get to watch them grow, but they're more likely to follow you back and engage as well. So let's just, anyone know small businesses to buy cute modern earrings? Even if this is not me, if I know somewhere, I'll tag somebody and people are really grateful for that. But typically anybody in small business, I can turn into a customer, or a client. So I'm okay with searching small business today, but tomorrow I might want to work with creators. So I might put in art, or I might put in new entrepreneur or small business entrepreneur. Just play around a little bit with it. So let's see. There are a lot of skincare businesses out there. I own one as well. So let's type in something as simple as the word soap. And let's just see what pops up. Because typically there are people that will post what they like. I follow her already. I follow her already. I follow her already. That is the same one. So as you can see, I put in work. I find my audience, and I can say that actually a couple of them. So Twitter hates when you follow a lot of people at the same time. They want you to be antisocial. But it usually takes about a couple of minutes or for a couple more people to follow you back. But she supported me before. She's purchased from me before. I believe that we've worked together, and if we haven't, we've tweeted back and forth multiple times. So the moral of the story here is search for your own audience. It is okay. It's okay to do that. I recommend it, so you know who's following you. And just from doing this, I can see their pictures, and so when they pop up on my TL or respond, I know where they came from, and I know what kind of effort to make. Okay, we're here, guys. I know it's been a long road. I have talked a lot, but Hopefully you guys are taking in this information and implementing it soon. So I have some extras for you. Optimizing Twitter is so important. Understand that things may be more convenient on your mobile, but use the desktop. It's genuinely different. I'll show you guys a little video of that as well at the end. But there are things that you can't do. It's a lot easier to reply to DMs there. It's a lot easier you can actually schedule content from there. And you can see other things such as your analytics. Now, I will say your analytics you can view if you go to your browser and look up Twitter if you're just really that bothered by it and want to be that convenient. But most of us have laptops as well. So seeing your analytics, you can actually deep dive into it a little more and it loads a lot better. DMs. Please use DMs. I'm not talking about the ones like, please follow me or please watch this or please, like I said earlier, try to use the soft sells to go into sending them a DM. Have a reason to DM them so they're not like, is this spam? Spaces, lives. So you can actually host a live on Twitter. That is on the mobile app as well. It literally just gives you a chance to press live on Spaces as well. So Spaces are kind of like, imagine like group FaceTime, but on Twitter. Super follows. So super follows. And another reason I'm super excited to hit 10K, which I'll show you guys again in this video, is where I can potentially have my own space where only certain people can see certain tweets. So if I charge $5 to follow my super follower account, I'm going to post content like business tips every single day. So it won't be the content that everybody else gets that says like, hey, do this and this will work better. I'll tell you where I got it from, how to implement it, and give you a direct strategy versus everyone else just kind of getting a heads up on what to do. Canva hacked. So I'm also going to show you on Canva how you can, there's a place where you can copy the URL of your tweet and go ahead and make it easier and better looking for Instagram or anywhere else that you want to transport your tweets to. So scheduling, you can actually schedule tweets through Twitter on your desktop. I'll show you guys that. On your phone, like I said, you can do it through the browser. Engagement. So understand that when you schedule tweets, the algorithm does not respect it the same, and so it might not give you as many impressions. One thing you can do to subside that is maybe setting an alarm or just knowing like, okay, I had 3 tweets go up at 3 p.m. that were scheduled. So going back at 4 o'clock and retweeting them so it's an organic thing that's happening through the app. That helps with engagement a lot. And then try to pre-write your tweets, keep them in a Google Doc. So then that way you can just copy and paste them and you've already done the work, but by you not scheduling them, it gives it a better chance once you tweet it. How much? If you are under 5K, you should be tweeting no less than 20 to 25 times a day. That's including your 10 to 15 comments on other people's stuff. And everything doesn't have to be serious and thought out all the time. Simple questions, simple replies, but bare minimum. So now that I hit 10K, I will still be tweeting at least 10 to 15 times a day, simply because I have an audience that needs to be nurtured a lot because of the ticket price that I have. So apps. I use an app called Unfollow. As you've seen in the previous slide, if you say 1,000 people follow you and you're just trying to follow them back, Twitter's going to tell you, hey, you're following too many people at the same time. And you're like, well, they followed me. So, but another good way to subside that is you can go on the unfollow app and you can unfollow the people who haven't followed you back and make space for the people who just followed you so you can follow them back. SquareFit, when you are repurposing your content, using an app like SquareFit really, really helps, because I can take that tweet and I can put it on SquareFit, and I know that it will be transferable to Instagram at bare minimum. They also have where you can put videos into SquareFit, so it will show the entire video on Instagram. So that's something I used to repurpose my content. So let's actually go to Twitter and check out some of these things. I am so excited for you guys to start trying some of this stuff. I'm excited for your questions. And overall, I am excited for your business growth that I am claiming for you. So, for instance, a lot of people ask, I didn't even know that I had analytics. She's loading a little slow, but we'll stick with her, right? So analytics, literally on your desktop, you press more, you press analytics. It will take you to a completely different page. So I already have mine pulled up here. I keep the tab up. Another thing that people don't go over enough, when you have viral tweets, please be prepared for your data to shoot back down as it shot back up. So if someone just had blind eyes and they looked at this, they'd be like, well, these are all in the red and followers are in the green. So over the past 28 days, I've gained 679 followers, right? And my mentions have gone down, my profile visits have gone down, and my tweet impressions have gone down. So I want you to take a good look at these lines that are under here as well. So you'll see I had a spike here, right? In my impressions, and then it kind of stayed fair for a while, and now I'm going back under. So understand that your analytics, this is real-time data. So from the moment, so I think yesterday marked 28 days since I had a day with like 3 viral tweets. And so it marks that date. So those 3 days dropped off. And so it looks like my impressions have just sunk so far. But I'm going to show you as I go down why it appears that way. So naturally, I have around 2 million, almost 3 million impressions, right? You can see here. But last month I have 15.5. Insane. So my numbers flew up. And so it's only natural, and I'm actually just getting back to normal. So you can see here that I'm actually ahead of schedule on what I normally bring in impressions wise. I actually have a data analytics course coming up, but I just wanted you guys to understand that since you're seeing it here. You can go into view all tweet activity. But as you can see here, I'm usually sharing some things that I found. So I found vegan, Hidden Valley Ranch, plant power. Here I found a certain wine blend that worked really well. So that's one of my account signatures as well. Let's look into view all tweet activity. This is where you can see everything over the past. So as you can see here, this is like where my crazy spike was. And now we're about a month out from that, and I'm recovering. So I average about 180, 80K impressions per day. It breaks everything down for you. The engagement rates here, impressions, the actual engagements, And pretty much to make it grow, you just have to know, okay, I had 348 link clicks, retweets here, and this is in real time as well. And you can go to things like top tweets, tweets and replies, but ultimately, I have another course coming up where I'm going to deep dive into what all of that means. But let's get into, let's see if they have monetization on here. Oop, I accidentally pressed something. That's super helpful too. Keyboard shortcuts. So let's go back to more. Topics, moments, Twitter ads. I have never used ads before. I personally don't plan on it because I just like the organic growth that I have. But let's look at topics. So earlier we went over like trends, and you'll be able to see those as well. But these are just some of the topics, and I actually add some every once in a while. So with science, I'll add biology because that's genuinely what I'm interested in. Something like psychology will also help me because I'm always talking about consumer behavior. But you can go here and just add some of this stuff, and it will bring up people's tweets who mention these things, right? So what's happening is where you will find your trends. What's trending? Let's click here. Click trending. And ultimately you can see, so let's see, this says Cash App Friday. I have nothing to do with that. Kendrick. Ooh, Kendrick's working on his last album. Jeopardy's up here. National Radio Day. Ooh, that's a crazy one. Aaliyah's up here Friday morning. So even taking something simple like pound Friday morning, like question of the day, ask the question at the bottom, hashtag Friday morning. I want you to see just how simple some of these tweets are that are on the trending list. It's this easy to be seen. I follow this person. So literally look at their engagement here. Engagement here. It's Alan Felix, of course. Engagement. Like, these are very, I cannot control what people post on social media. But yeah, so you can see how easy it is to be seen by going and just using one of the hashtags or talk about something that's trending. I wouldn't make it your sole purpose, but on your mobile app, you can apply for monetization, and I can show you guys some of those things as well. So again, making sure that you use everything as far as DMing people. So for instance, if I want to DM Irene Naturals, or if I just wanted to tweet at her, I could come here, and as long as you're on her page and you press tweet, her at will pop up so you don't have to find her. It also says you might like. I follow these people if I really like this person. Which I love her, but I don't think I can follow any more people right now because I have been following people since we've been on here. But yeah, so they told me I can't follow any more people, but that's a good way too. If you really like a profile, you see that they're very engaging, follow the people that they suggest here. Okay, we are finally coming to our close. Again, I am so happy to have you guys. Thank you so much for hitting 10K with me. And here's where you can find me. I'm at Business Basic on all of these platforms. I am most reachable on Twitter, obviously. And again, just straight up tweet me your questions. Go ahead and give me a follow. And if you learned anything from today and you want to get more tips, you want some motivational information, or simply some deals on working one-on-one with me, go ahead and text 833-636-1604. Text the word ego, just how it's presented on here, and you will be added into my text message list where, again, you're going to be receiving motivational tips, business activities to do. My YouTube page will also be featured on there. So I hope that this helped you guys. If you love this experience, I want you to make a tweet and let me know what you learned and what was your favorite part. Please, 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 please do not be afraid to ask questions, to challenge me, to ask for specific examples. But today was amazing. Again, I cannot thank you enough for helping me reach 10K and being here when I did so. I'm looking forward to growing all of your small businesses. And again, this has been 25 tips for Twitter growth with Business Bay. I'll see you guys soon.